It comes from being gritty and showing up and challenging yourself, and you can start doing that now. There is nothing standing in your way. The times that you mess up and the times that it doesn't feel great are going to be far outweighed by the times where you prove to yourself that you have something valuable to share and that you are capable of leading and that you are capable of having a strong voice.
Welcome to The Art of Speaking Up, a podcast that helps professional women access the limitless potential that lies within them. I'm your host, Jessica Guzik. And my mission is to help you find that spark inside you that has the power to transform your career in ways you may not have thought possible. I'm so excited that you're here. And now, on to the show.
Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Jess. I'm the host of this podcast. I'm a professional woman in the 9-to-5 world. I'm also a women's career and leadership coach. And you are listening to part 3 in this series that I have created to help you kick off 2021 with a bang. So the intention of this 3-part episode series is really to inspire you to look at yourself and look at your career and find some of the places where it's time for you to go outside of your comfort zone, and find some of the places where if you're willing to stretch and you're willing to do some brave, scary things, your career could become so much richer. And if you do these things consistently, then when this year wraps up and you're 1 year out from now, you've become a different version of yourself, a stronger version of yourself, a braver version of yourself, a more confident version of yourself. All of this is possible, but it requires you to start somewhere. And often, one of the first things you have to do is take scary action. And these episodes are really intended to help you figure out where you're not taking scary action and where you're playing a little bit small. That's kind of part 1. And parts 2 and 3 are intended to help you figure out how you can start taking more scary action, and specifically how you can start using your voice more in meetings, because that is one of the most important things that you can do professionally. This 3-part series, I created it to celebrate the start of season 5 and the start of the new year and the opening of my private coaching business. So I kind of soft launched in beta mode towards the end of 2020, and my coaching practice is officially open, and it feels so good to share that with you. And I'll put my information below, and I'll share a little bit more about that at the end of today's episode. But for right now, I want to talk about what I think is probably my favorite topic. I get so jazzed. I get so excited about this topic. There's literally nothing more exciting to me than this topic. And it is the topic of being bold. You can pick whatever word you like. You can pick courageous, brave. There's something about the word bold that I like that feels a little bit rebellious, a little bit sassy. It feels like it has a little bit of an edge to it, and I just really, really like it. So I'm going to use the word bold. So if you listen to part 2, I talked about how in order for you to become a powerful leader, you have to get comfortable taking action and speaking up in meetings, even when you feel uncertain, and even when you're not sure if your idea is good, or you're not sure if you're, quote unquote, supposed to be talking in that meeting. I talked about why it's so important to speak up when you're not sure, because it is the skill of being brave in the face of uncertainty that makes you a powerful leader and helps you become confident and strong. And I ended part 2 by telling you to find small places to test out speaking up and giving yourself permission to speak up and being brave and taking risks in speaking up by finding small, doable opportunities to practice using your voice more. So this could be, maybe you say hello to someone in the hallway, or maybe you're in a meeting that's not like a super big, scary meeting. It's like a lower stakes meeting that you don't usually talk in. Maybe you can practice in that meeting. But I encouraged you to find a place where you can practice these skills. And now what I want to remind you, you might already know this, is that even when you're practicing in small ways, right, it's still hard. It still requires courage. And when we're doing something that requires bravery and boldness, and we're doing something that is, maybe something we usually avoid doing because it's a little bit uncomfortable, it requires us to face our discomfort, to be in our discomfort, to take a step into an uncomfortable place. It's as if you are in a room and this room is super comfortable and there's a room next door that is freezing cold, right? When you're going outside of your comfort zone and speaking up more and using your voice, it's like you're voluntarily going into this cold room. Of course you don't want to do that, right? There's a reason, obviously, right? So in this case, the reason you're going into the cold room is because you know that if you walk through that cold room and you get to the other side, there's an even better room than the comfortable room that you're currently in. So you're willing to leave your comfort zone, leave this comfortable room, step into this uncomfortable room, because ultimately there is something so much better waiting for you on the other side. Now, the challenge with this, and the thing that makes all of this so hard, and the reason why growth is hard and scary, is because you don't know what the future is going to look like. You can't look ahead into the future and see that version of yourself that is strong and brave and confident, because that person doesn't yet exist. You only have your belief and your imagination to hold on to. So you're stepping into that cold room, but you can't even see the door for the better room, and you still have to step into that cold room. And that is where the rubber meets the road. And that is what determines whether you're going to grow and change or not, is whether you are willing to step into the cold room before you can see the door that leads you to the better room. Here's how I want you to think about this. I want you to think about building confidence as buying a house and paying off a mortgage. So when you buy a house, you typically make a down payment, 20%, and you put that money in, and you own a very small portion of the house. So if you made a 20% down payment, you only have equity in 20% of the house, and 80% is owned by whoever loaned you the money, right? The bank. And every single month you are paying, and every single month your equity gets a little bit bigger. But you know what's really interesting is you're living in the house and it's not even yours. And you're putting all this money in and it's not even yours. Why are you doing that? Why did you make such a huge down payment when you could have rented and made no down payment? Why are you paying this mortgage every month? The reason you're doing it is because you know that at the end of the mortgage, you're going to own the house, right? So you made the down payment, you took this massive pile of money, and you did that versus renting because you can see the vision of owning the house and you know you're owning the house. So you're willing to make that down payment and you're willing to pay that mortgage month after month after month. Now, building confidence, the way that I want you to think about building confidence is you got to make a big down payment and believe that you can become completely different than how you are now. And you have to pay your mortgage, your confidence mortgage, every single month. But the difference between building confidence, building confidence through a mortgage, and just paying off a regular mortgage on a house is, in the case of the house and the mortgage, 10 years, 25 years, some number of years from now, you will own that house. When you're building confidence, it's as if the mortgage end date is unknown. So you are showing up every single month and you have no idea when the house is going to be paid off. You have no idea, and your only option is to keep showing up to pay the mortgage or to stop. And you know for certain that if you stop, you are not getting that house. But if you keep going, you might have to keep going for a while, and you don't know how many more payments there are. And you're living in a house that is not even yours yet. And that is how building confidence and change and transformation works. You don't know what the future is going to look like. And that is going to make you want to stop because you can't see the end. And it can feel scary and it can feel frustrating and it can feel like, well, why is this even worth it? I still feel awkward in meetings. I still have stage fright. I still feel shaky. I still feel unconfident. I'm still not able to participate. I still don't feel powerful. Why should I put myself out there and be vulnerable and take all these risks when I can't even see the result, when I still go to the next meeting and I still feel crappy after doing that, right? That's going to make you want to stop. That's going to make you want to give up because the downside and the risk and the struggle of the present moment is going to make it feel like it's not worth it. And the only way to build true and lasting confidence when you are dealing with something that is difficult for you and has no clear set end date is to just keep showing up and paying that mortgage month after month and believing that at some point you are going to own that house. Now, here's a question that I would encourage you to ask yourself if you are struggling to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and if you are struggling to make a down payment, and if you are struggling to make those mortgage payments because you have no idea when you're going to own the house. One thing that I would ask you to consider is if I told you that it was possible for you to change and to become confident and to start to feel powerful and to transform who you are. If I told you it was possible, but we don't know how long it's going to take, the question for you to ask yourself is how many mortgage payments are you willing to pay? What is the amount that you have decided that is the most you are willing to try to change and to become the person that you want to be professionally? And that will give you all of the information that you need to know. If it is important enough for you to prove to yourself that you can become strong and to get the outcome that you want of feeling powerful and learning how to lead and having the career that you really want to have, if that outcome is truly important to you, then you should be willing to put in as many mortgage payments as it takes until you own the house. There is no amount that is quote unquote too much. And the only reason that you would give up is if you don't believe that it's possible. But you know it's possible if you keep showing up. You just don't know exactly what it's going to look like and exactly when you're going to own the house and exactly when the skills are going to start to tip in your favor. And what I want to offer to you is that every situation you are in, every meeting, every conversation, everything that arises throughout the day that makes you scared or makes you uncomfortable is an opportunity to make a payment on that mortgage. And the sooner you make those and the more payments you make each day, the faster you're going to get towards owning the house, right? So it's not a fixed situation where you only get to make one mortgage payment a month. You get to make as many as you want. And the more payments you make, the faster you move towards that end. Because while you don't know exactly when that end date is or exactly how many payments, we know that it's a fixed amount. We know that if you show up enough times, you're going to begin to learn that you have the capabilities to participate. Your body is going to begin to understand that it is safe for you to speak in these environments, right? Your courage is going to grow because you're going to see not only that you have the power to contribute something and share something that is successful and that helps everyone go in a better direction, but also you know that when you share something that fails or when something doesn't go well or when things don't turn out great, in the aftermath of your act of courage, you can totally handle it and you can totally have your own back. When you are not afraid of failure and when you have a covenant with yourself to stay with yourself and be with yourself and have your own back when things don't go well, you will be willing to make as many mortgage payments as possible. You will want to make as many as physically possible because you know that with each payment and with each act of courage and bravery, you're getting closer and closer to the person you're becoming and the outcome you want and the leader who you want to be. It is only because the downside is hard and the failure is hard that you consider stopping paying the mortgage, or you avoid making the mortgage payments because it doesn't seem worth it. But when you learn to be with yourself through the failure, and you learn that you can handle that, and you can handle bad emotion, and you can handle feeling bad, and you can still be kind to yourself even if you F something up, then you will want to make those mortgage payments so fast. And let me tell you that the times that you mess up and the times that it doesn't feel great are going to be far outweighed by the times where you prove to yourself that you have something valuable to share and that you are capable of leading and that you are capable of having a strong voice. But the thing that I most want you to know and the thing that I most want you to understand is that building confidence is not some elusive thing that is outside your control. It is literally a decision that you are presented with each and every day, every time something challenging comes up. When you opt to show up, when you feel challenged, and when you opt to exit your comfort zone, you are choosing to build confidence. It is not something that is out of your control. It is in your control if you are willing to make those payments. And you can make as many as you want, as often as you want. You are the one that decides. And the hard thing about it is it's going to feel uncomfortable and it's not going to feel great at first. And it might take time before you see yourself changing. That's not always the case. Sometimes just one or two acts of courage can send you on a whole different path and can completely change the way that you see yourself. But other times you're going to have to stay in it and have to believe that you can become this bigger version of yourself, even when you're still in the stages of sounding a bit awkward, and even when you haven't figured it all out, and even when you're struggling to take up space and you're struggling to lead. But just because those instances don't go amazingly doesn't mean they don't count. Every single thing you do counts as a mortgage payment, whether it turns out good, whether it turns out bad. We are just trying to hit a number. And when we hit the number, you will have done it enough times that the thing that felt hard starts to feel easy. And that is what I want for you. So in the aftermath of this, I want you to start to identify all the opportunities to make a payment on that mortgage of self-confidence and that mortgage of inner power. And I want you to start opting into those. And I want you to start challenging yourself. It's like putting coins in a piggy bank. Eventually it's going to get full. And I want you to challenge yourself to start filling it up. And a really wonderful way of doing that is finding places to use your voice, whether it's in meetings or one-on-one interactions, but that is not the only place you can do it. There are so many places you can do it. I just want you to understand that you are in control, and there is nothing about this process that is out of your control. It might feel that way, but the truth is it's just a yes-no decision over and over and over again. You're being presented with the opportunity to step outside your comfort zone and do something brave, and you are constantly deciding yes, no, yes, no. And when you decide yes enough times, the cumulative effect of that is that you are going to begin to change. So I hope that this helped you, and I would love to hear from you. What situations are your mortgage payments? Where are your choices to show up? Where are the places for you to step out of your comfort zone? They don't have to be huge, big, dramatic things. They can be little, but I want you to open your eyes to them, and I want you to start to notice them, and I want you to challenge yourself this week, this month, this year to start making those payments so you can own that glorious house and so that you can build confidence. It comes from being gritty and showing up and challenging yourself, and you can start doing that now. There is nothing standing in your way. So I hope this was helpful for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've listened to all 3 parts of this series, you rock, and I so appreciate you being here. And if you want support directly from me, you can check out my brand new website, jessguzik.coaching.com. I will link it below. And if you apply to work with me anytime before January 15th, in addition to your coaching package, you're also going to get an invitation to 2 workshops, one on how to lead meetings with confidence and one on participating in meetings with confidence. These workshops are a really nice complement to the one-on-one work that you will do when you work with me directly, because when you're around other people that are having a similar experience you're having, it gives you a very different kind of opportunity for transformation. And a workshop setting is a really wonderful setting for you to practice skills in a safe, non-judgmental space, which I am really excellent at creating, if I do say so myself. So it's a really special opportunity. And if you're looking for support, I would love to work with you. You can learn more on my website, and I'll put my contact information below in case you have questions. Please feel free to reach out to me. I have heard from some of you that you feel intimidated to reach out or intimidated to potentially pursue coaching. I would say if you feel that way, it's a mortgage payment, right? If you feel like, oh, I want to do this, but I'm scared, that is like a blaring siren. It's a mortgage payment. And actually making that decision can really help you step out of a pattern that is keeping you from taking action and help you redefine how you see yourself and what types of brave steps you are willing to take in your life and in your career. So that's something to keep in mind. I'll put everything below. I hope you're having the most wonderful, magical start to 2021. I know I am, and I hope you're experiencing the same thing. And with that, I'll catch you next week. I've got a fantastic interview coming. I'm so excited to share it with you. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch you then.